What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content. I'm coming to y'all on draft day. That's when you're going to see this. Technically, I'm doing it the night before. Not important. This is draft day. This is what we're here for, right? Day one of draft day. It's fine. So, thank y'all for being here. We appreciate you being here and supporting us in all we do. Let's get right into the Dolphins talk. So, up until now, basically a day ago, the top five of the mock drafts have been kind of the same. And at pick number 5, we saw the Jacksonville Jaguars getting Mason Graham, and then we just moved on from there, right? I did an episode a few weeks ago where I thought, will we trade up for Mason Graham? He does fit a lot of needs. We need a defensive tackle. He's All-American, first team. He's great. For a lot of people, best overall defender in the draft. Will we move up for him? That's what I was saying, but I never thought he would fall. No one did. All of a sudden, the beauty of drafting. Cohen, I think it's Liam Cohen, I think is his name, the Jaguars coach, Tampa's old offensive coordinator, basically was like, y'all brought me here to make the offense better. So we can't draft a defensive tackle with the first pick. Makes sense to me. Obviously, his game is to fix Trevor Lawrence. That's why you brought him in. He basically rehabbed Baker Mayfield. Can you do that same thing with Trevor Lawrence? We're already paying Trevor $275 million. Our defense should get better. Jacksonville's defense is awful. So I understood getting Mason Graham. They had a bad defense. But you just brought in the offensive coordinator, quarterback whisperer, for your young quarterback. So now it looks like Jaguars are going Ashton Genty or Ted McMillan. That's everything I'm hearing is one of those two picks, right? So now Mason Graham will still be on the board. Now, could he land the Jets? Of course, Jets love defense. Could he be with the Raiders? Yeah, they got some stuff there. But what I'm seeing now is he could fall all the way to the Dolphins at 13, which then asks the question, will we go with Mason Graham? I have to imagine Mason Graham is very high on the Dolphins board. We have significant D-line issues, especially interior. He fits the bill. He's like a day one starter, obviously a leader, strong against the run, good in the pass rush. Again, all the accolades, first team All-American, like best defensive player, like champion, all the things you want. Will probably be captain, if not the best defensive player day one. He will be there. I haven't even had him being a pick for us because I just thought that he wouldn't be there. And again, San Francisco is picking before us, and San Fran's defense is but we'll see. He could be there on the board at 13, which changes the entire draft. Because I don't think for a single second the Dolphins were thinking of drafting someone of his caliber at their pick without having to give up more picks to get up there. That's why we've been doing stories about the Walter Nolans of the world, because it's like, well, he should be on the board later. Kenneth Grant, another person that has been linked to the Dolphins, because we assumed we wouldn't be able to get Mason Graham. And now all of a sudden, 16 hours before the draft, it's like, hey, you might be there. Now, given how good Mason is and how important D linemen are, there could always be someone trading up and kind of like spoiling the party. But there's a real possibility just based on the Peter Schrager's of the world, credible reporting, that he could be on the board at 13 for the Dolphins. And I think that's a tantalizing possibility to get what some people think is the best defensive player at pick 13 and a position of need. That, you don't get better than that. Like, hey, we get the guy we really wanted that we didn't think would be there. That's there without giving up assets, and he instantly starts and makes our defense better. That's as slam dunk a pick as you get. There will be zero people mad about it. The fan base will erupt. It'll be great. Our owner is a Michigan alum. Got to keep that kind of stuff in mind. It is a thing. So I think if this comes to fruition, crazy. My thinking is somebody's probably, if he falls past Carolina, who I think has the 8th pick, I think the Saints are at 9. They seem like they're kind of bent on trading out of that pick. I don't believe they're going to pick at 9. Like, whatever quarterback they possibly would get, they can trade back and still get. But at 9, you can get probably the best corner. If Mason Graham is there, the best defensive tackle. There's a lot of value in that. So I do believe they would probably trade back. But I can see someone trading up to 9 to get him. But if he does fall, that would be something magical. So we'll see what happens. Now, we are going to talk about what my final projections are for the draft, right? Because we've been doing all these episodes about what could we do, what could we do, what could we do. I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. And I'm gonna have two players because I gotta hedge my bets a little bit. There's always shenanigans in the first round. I do believe there will be a lot of mobility because literally this year every team has a first round pick for the first time in a long time. So everybody can be moving around doing anything, right? And the Dolphins have a ton of picks, but a lot of picks are backloaded, right? So in my main scenario, Dolphins keep their pick. The draft goes as it is predicted to go, right? Meaning Mason's off the board, meaning Trevor's off the board, meaning Cam's off the board, all that good stuff, right? I think the Dolphins at 13 pick Jahdae Barron. And I'm assuming that Will Johnson will still be on the board because I think Jahdae fits the team the best. We can put him at either corner, left or right. We can put him at either slot. He's good as a ball hawk. He's good in coverage. He's good at picks. He's healthier. I think he just checks all the boxes. And I believe what the team really wants is somebody in the secondary that really is a playmaker. I don't think they just want. Right now, we have guys that play in the secondary. We have cornerbacks, we have safeties, a lot of one-year contracts, a lot of, well, if he lives up to his talent, guys. No one that you game plan against. Right? If you're playing against the Dolphins, you're not like, oh man, gotta figure out this secondary. You're like, maybe not barbecue chicken. It's not a Shaq situation, but you're certainly not being kept up at night. You're not doing different schemes and we gotta change the eye pattern of the safeties. I think you're just playing their defense like any one-on-one receiver DB match. We get it. We feel pretty confident in, right? No one's keeping you up at night. I think Jahdae could instantly become a guy. Maybe not the first couple games because again, rookies, there's a curve there. I do think once the year goes on, I see all the intangibles, all the instincts, all the skill. I've seen it. I think he would be a slam dunk pick. I think we would love it immediately. He's of course would be a day one starter, and then we'll just build from there, right? So that's my like A plan. Jahdae, plan A. Plan B, we trade back. Plan B, we're trying to trade back and trying to pick up another third round pick. I don't think they can get a second round pick trading back. I think somebody may offer you a fourth and something. I think our goal is to trade back, maybe 6 to 10 picks, pick up another third round pick, and then we draft the best defensive tackle available at the time. I think at cornerback at that point, there'll probably be 4 or 5 corners off the board. And cornerbacks 6 through 11, their grades are like, because they do them to decimals, right? So Travis Hunter is 5.5 points above everybody else. Every corner from there on, you're talking like 88.4, 88.2, 88. Like it is that. So cornerback 6 to 11, it's really stylistic, right? Most of them are about 5'11 to 6'1. Most of them played in the SEC. A lot of them are juniors. There are a couple seniors. Like there's not a lot of that's like, oh man, we got to get this guy. Once you get past Jahdae, I guess, and Will Johnson, it's basically all kind of a crapshoot. Like not a crapshoot like it's bad, meaning I guess you're all kind of the same thing. It's just like the Spider-Man meme, looking at each other, right? So I think they won't be rushing to get a corner in the late 20s, assuming we trade back that far. But the D tackles do drop off, and I think the goal would be to try to get Kenneth Grant if he's on the board. Because there's been a lot of smoke around Kenneth Grant being the guy we wanted, but we don't want him at 13 because we think that's probably too high for him, right? He's a bigger dude. He's a clogger. He can get a push in the middle, but he's not a consistent pass rusher like a Mason Graham is, right? So you don't want to put that much draft equity in someone at 13 who basically is like a clog. But you need a guy in the middle to clog stuff up because we're porous in the middle. So he does have a value. He's just overvalued at 13. But him at 23, 24, 25, yeah, I think that's tremendous. That'd be a great pick. And again, if we trade from 13 to say 23 and we pick up an additional third, hey, I'm here for it. I like Jahdae a lot. I would love to have him. If we end up with Trey Amos at corner and we miss out on Jahdae, I'm not losing sleep. I think Jahdae is better. He'll probably end up having a better career just based on his skill set. But if Trey can be like a day one type starter and we just get him later in the draft, I'm good with it. So I think those are my two paths. Top corner Jahdae, if we stay with everything the same. We trade back, I think we go with best D lineman available. Now, I mentioned a third round pick earlier in the event that we trade back. And the question is, would the Dolphins be able to trade back in to the first round and get a first round pick? I think there's one scenario where we could do that and where we should do that. But you need equity to trade back into the first round, which is why trading back, getting your top D tackle, getting an extra third round pick. If you want to trade our second round pick and come into the first round, you would give up probably that third and like a fifth or something to move up. So now we have an extra third and we still get to keep our normal third pick. I've seen some recent draft projections where Booker is dropping from Alabama. He's the top guard in the class. I've seen him as high as like 10, 11. I'm seeing drafts where he's going like 27, 28, 29. I don't know what happened to the guard market. All the tackles are flying off the board. I'm seeing tackles from Hofstra and like North Dakota State. It's tackles all over the place. Everybody wants to tackle apparently. And again, tackles are very important. But we still think Patrick Paul's the guy, so we're going to keep moving forward. But guards don't seem to be that much in demand right now. And as a result, they're just coming back to earth. And if Booker's on the board around 27, right? Because our second round pick is pick 48, which is like in the middle of the second round. He's not going to last from 27 to 48. We know that. But to go from 48 to 27, that's you moving up 20 picks, right? So you have to give up probably a third this year and maybe a future third and maybe like a fifth or something. So maybe it's a lot of assets, but if you think he could be your day one guard starter and be your guard for the next 8 to 10 years, I don't care about 2/3 and a fifth. We got a guard that we had rated as number one on our board. He's been number one guard the entire time. I've seen no drafts where he's not number one guard. And if he just starts falling, and you get to a team like Buffalo, whose line is great, a team like Baltimore, who doesn't really need a line, Kansas City could, but Kansas City tends to go skill positions, and I'm seeing that they may want to move up in the draft. Fine. If we start in Philadelphia, their offensive line is dominant. So all those teams toward the back don't really need it, but once you restart round 2, you get teams like Tennessee again, who you know want to get offensive line help. There's a lot of teams getting a second round to us that want a guard. If we can trade back in, you get your top guard on the board in the late 20s, and you get, Walter Nolan, Kenneth Grant guy, also in the first round, you now got your established D lineman, your established guard. That's the next 8 to 10 years trenches on lock. You still have a third round pick. Then you got a fourth, and then you got later picks. You can now go cornerback heavy. Next 2 draft, give me Porter in the third round, and now we just keep stacking. Now we go get the couple cornerbacks. We figure out who the best safety available in the 5th round is, and we just build it out from there. But now your trenches are secure. Because, again, we're not good in the trenches. The O-line's not great. D-line's not great. Let's secure both of those. I think there are a lot of corners in this draft that can play. I think there are a lot of safeties in this draft that can play. I do not believe there are a lot of guards that can play. If we can get the best guard, best D tackle, I think that's the most perfect version of a first round. It's not sexy because I know we want to get Will Johnson and, we got a fast corner, whatever. Not fast. We got a great corner. I know that's sexy to say. If you say we strong where it counts, we can build out from there. That would be my hypothetical situation. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know how aggressive Chris Greer is going to be. But with all these picks, if we trade back and pick up an additional pick, and we now have 11 picks in the draft, I would hope you use them to move around and get some of the top players. And in this case, if we can get Booker in the late 20s and a D tackle earlier than that, you get my seal of approval. Guys, I'm super excited. Watch me. Why we do this episode tomorrow. It's like, and we drafted Shador. It just throws the whole thing off. I'm like, all right, never mind. We decided to go a different direction, but we'll see what happens. Guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate it, love and support. Thank y'all for the subscribes, the likes, and shares, and all that good stuff. We'll see you on draft day tomorrow night. Have a good day. Peace.